Hi. I hope you can see the table okay. Let me put on my other glasses. My glasses over my glasses. Okay. I think you can see it. I'm in a different room. Hopefully it's quieter. I live right outside a busy road. So, we're going to be using the Epic Tarot, a Ouija, playing cards, and probably the Lost Forest. Just some random deck that I got. And we might use the Vice Versa deck, which I got at a thrift shop. I haven't used them yet. So anyway, we're here to talk about Bryan Kohberger. I've done a couple of videos on him in the past, if you look at my playlist. And I had said way back when that he was after Maddie, not Kaylee, even though they thought Kaylee was the target because she thought she had a stalker seeing someone outside the house where they lived on the college campus. And I don't know why I can't speak all of a sudden. Throat chakra. Let me get my drink. So they thought they saw him outside, or saw someone outside, and she thought she was being stalked. But in the past, I said that it was Maddie who he was after, which I still do believe to this day. Also, Dylan, the roommate that survived, everybody bashed on her. Way back when, I said she was probably drunk or on drugs. She didn't really know what she was seeing. And he didn't see her. I'll stand by that also. The only other thing is that he had seen her. He knew who she was because he had seen her out and about. And because she was new, because she was young, because she just moved into this house, maybe he didn't feel she was part of that popular group yet. And that's why he was like, ah. Plus she was very tall. She is much taller than the other girls. So maybe he didn't want to fight because he just put up a fight with Kaylee and Xana. And she was much taller. So maybe he worried about that. But I really think he just didn't see her. You know, he was so in the zone, so hyped up, so you know, did what he did. Let's go. Now, I don't know if I said this in past videos, but you know, more will come out also as we're learning more now with the documents not being sealed. So how did he get out of there without leaving traces of his blood footprints? You know, maybe his blood is, I don't know, maybe his blood would be mixed in there. So I don't know why they didn't do DNA in all the blood. Maybe his blood is mixed in there. I'm sure he had to be fingerprinted since he went on all these job interviews. Well, I don't know how many job interviews he went on, but I'm assuming he had been fingerprinted in the past. We can, if I remember, we can ask that. So his name would be in the system. Maybe his DNA is not in the system, and maybe they didn't get a DNA from him because his lawyer blocked it. So something about, you know, why couldn't they find the DNA in the blood that was splattered all over the place in the two rooms to lead to Bryan, because they did find, well, but they did find blood on the knife sleeve, so they did have DNA. But why wasn't any blood in the mixed in with the the victim's blood. So I don't know. If I remember, I can ask that. So we're doing a video today. You know, I could have been doing videos all along about him as the case went on, but if you've seen my channel before, you know, I just don't milk it. I milk it. I get my intuitive hits, and sometimes I leave them to myself about things that happen in the news, and sometimes if I have energy, then I'll do a reading. It's all about my energy to be able to do a clear reading. Not that my head is not clear, but I'm usually exhausted. I work a job and I am tired. So if anyone can do an accurate reading, a real reading, whether they're tired, sick, headache, sinuses, you know, depressed, whatever, chaos in their house, go ahead, do it. Me, I need calm, I need to be rested, I need to be in the right mind frame. So, but what I really wanted to come on here for is because I woke up from my dreams the other night, and I guess it was on my mind, like, where did he leave the weapon? The knife. So, in my mind, oh, here we go. Here's my corona. Look at the world. The world, which is appropriate, because this is the ending of the cycle. He has now admitted, he has now went on to go spend the rest of his life in prison. And here's the Chariot. And that's me. He might even feel that this was the end and this was his victory. He went through, he did it, and he wanted to get not caught, but he did get caught. So, but this was the ending for him, as it is for most people. However, we still want to know where he put the weapon. So as I woke up in my dreams, I was thinking he hid the weapon. I was thinking tree, near a tree, and then I did go online and I was looking at some videos, and a video popped up, and I don't know who it was, I don't remember, but something about him driving down this road, and there was a tree, a bush of trees, and they had seen a white car parked by the bush of trees. So they didn't, I guess they went there and they didn't find anything, but I guess that was my sign, my intuitive sign that I was onto something, thinking about the tree. But then I also I was thinking about roadkill. Sounds really weird, yes. But that he was driving down the road and he saw a big possum, skunk, whatever on the road, you know, as sometimes they do get hit, but it was big enough. And I was dreaming and thinking that he put the knife in this deceased roadkill. And yes, I was thinking in my brain, that's kind of gross, that's kind of, you know, but he just slaughtered people. So what's the difference, you know what I mean? And this one was already passed on. So I was thinking he put the knife in the roadkill, never to be found again, because whoever picks up those roadkills, the trash men or the, I don't know who, environmental people, but would you think to look in a roadkill for a weapon? You know, you just pack them up and put them in the wherever, a bag or in a pile or wherever you put those things to be disposed of. So I was thinking that, and then I was thinking, I don't know if you can see can you see the switch right there? My outlet switch so I was thinking in his house, the outlet switches, if you took a switch off, you know, there's wires behind it, there's the outlets behind it, wires and things, but could there be space? And I've taken off outlets before, and I think there is space where, yes, okay, it's metal, you might get electrocuted, but if you did it very carefully, and if you were grounded maybe with rubber boots on, could you slip the knife in an outlet plug on the ground, or the switch outlets, and stick it in there, like in his house? Like, do police ever think of that? And do metal detectors on the walls to see if there's metal, or, because I think the knife was metal, I think. Would people do that to hide weapons? Also, I was thinking, if he had the floorboard base heat where you have the vent and then you lift up the vent, because I've opened those plenty of times to vacuum in there. I'm weird, so when I had my house to get dust out and stuff, and I had a cat near one that sometimes would get the litter in there, so I would, take the vacuum in there. But then I was thinking, what if you put a magnet on the knife, open the vent in the floor, put the knife in far enough, maybe even with tongs, from the kitchen, with the magnet on it. Okay, here's the knife, here's the magnet on it. You stick it in and you put it as far as you can go and click it to the not pipes, but the vent. It's metal, so I'm assuming a magnet would snap to that. And then I was thinking, I'm thinking of all these different ways, as if I'm a criminal. And then I was thinking, maybe that was in his mind, all different ways to get rid of it. However, I did keep coming back to a tree, and I wonder if he put it not on the ground, because they found a shovel with dirt, but that could have been a decoy. If he was really smart, you want to make them think that you dug to hide the weapon. So maybe he dug and then he couldn't get down far enough, so he gave up the digging hiding plan, but he left the dirt on the shovel because then it might make people think that he dug it and buried it somewhere, but he really didn't. So anyway, I kept thinking about a tree though, and again, like with the roadkill, putting it in the animal. What if he somehow got it inside the tree? Maybe even, let's say there was a dead tree, and then it had like a hole in the top, and the knife he put like kind of in the hole, but then he brought something to like hammer it in deeper down, because would a metal detector pick up metal through a tree stump? Now it would have to be a thick tree stump. So anyway, I still think, I don't still think, this is what I thought, that he put it in something. He put the knife in something, not just buried it in the dirt. I heard someone say, he threw it in a body of water and it sunk, and yeah, but that's an amateur move. Everybody throws knives and, guns and bodies in water, so it's always water. But they could find metal in water, and how would he know how far it sunk? Depending on where he threw it. I guess he could have tied a rock to it. I don't know, but the water thing, maybe. I'm not God. I don't know. Maybe it's in water, but I think it's in something. And then we're like, okay, but what about the clothes? So I'm like, this would have to have been really thought out, because at first I was thinking, the workmen that come into your house to fix something, they put those plastic like baggies that cling to the shoe covers. But if there was a lot of blood, which it seemed like there was, he might slip. He could have wore them into the scene, those boot covers, to keep the workmen that come in your house to keep your rug clean. So he could have wore them into the scene. And as far as being dressed in black also, I was thinking, someone was like, oh, maybe he had a hazmat suit on. And I was thinking, yeah, but he had to have taken it off before he left, I would think, because it would have blood on it. But then I was thinking, better yet, get a black heavy-duty trash bag, maybe one or two, cut the bottom out, step in it, and wrap the ties around you for the bag. It would have to be a long, large, out yard trash bag, black, and put it over you like a skirt, so that any splatter that came upon you, then you just take it off and maybe have like 2 or 3 bags under that with your booties on, and carry a couple of those. And I'm thinking he had a backpack or something, because he had to have something, let's say. So after he went to I think he went upstairs first to the 3rd floor to and the girls. Okay, so he takes all that off, and he's thinking he's going to just leave at that point. He's going to have to, and he probably had gloves, so he's going to have to wrap it all up, take the gloves off, you learn how to take gloves off the proper way so you don't touch what's on the gloves, and put it in a sack big enough to hold, and I'm sure he practiced at home, whatever backpack it was, if it was a children's size backpack, whatever, black, put all the gear in that so that you can walk out without drippings. Okay, because something had to be done with the clothes, like how to get all the splatter off himself. He had to have put it in something. So then, let's say he heard Xana as he was coming down the stairs, or maybe even she went up because she heard noise, and then she saw what was going on, and he turned around and he saw her, so he had to go. But then she could have called 911. Maybe she didn't have her phone with her. She could have called 911, but maybe her phone wasn't right with her. But she ran down, and then he ran after her. She was going into the bedroom, but she was going to close the door, but he got there right behind her where she couldn't close the door. So he barricaded her in the room. Ethan might have turned over or was almost going to wake up. Now, mind you, these are college kids and they could be drunk, so maybe he's a hard sleeper, Ian, and just didn't wake up. But maybe he thought he was going to wake up, so he took care of Ian. And Xana, being in shock, trying to process everything, she's just realizing what's going on. She tries to defend Ethan and gets herself stabbed even more, and then eventually passes on from that encounter. So then, again, he has to leave that scene with no blood drippings, which is why I think he had multiple layers of whatever he had over himself, maybe even a poncho. I have a really big black poncho. It's kind of a pain in the ass to move around in, but maybe he had I'm short, so maybe with his height, it fit him better. Maybe he had 2 ponchos on. I don't know. He said he was stargazing, but I guess there was no stars that night, so maybe he thought he could get away with looking like he had a poncho on. Okay, but anyway, the clothes, so he put all these blood splattered items that he had on over his clothes in a backpack, in a bag, in some kind of where he could fold it up, put it all in. Then putting the booties on, his boots again, the clear booties, to protect the ground as he left. Then when he's outside, getting far enough away, then taking off those booties and putting them in the backpack again. So now he's left with just his clothes. And when he gets home, I believe he takes a shower with the clothes on, washes the clothes as they're on him, drains any kind of blood that could be there, could be left off himself, off the clothes, and then I think he washes the clothes in the washing machine and hangs them straight back up. And as far as everything in the backpack, because they're like, okay, where are the clothes that he wore that night? Why aren't they bloody? I think he washed himself with the clothes on, washed himself, then washed the clothes in the washing machine. It'd be interesting if anyone knew. He could have waited till the next morning where it didn't look awkward. But if he was a person that's up all night, maybe he does laundry in the middle of the night, so it didn't look awkward. And he could have run the washing machine a couple cycles, so it didn't look like he was doing just one load. And doing that for the fact of cleaning out the washing machine. Maybe he poured bleach in it as he washed an empty load. Okay, just to make it look like he was washing. And as far as the backpack with all the evidence in it, my initial thought is just that he burned it. My next thought is maybe he washed all that in the wash also. The bags with the backpack. The bags in the backpack. And bleached it. I don't know. Is there a substance that can disintegrate plastic? Like, I don't know, like if you pour bleach on a plastic bag, it's not going to disintegrate it. But is there, put it in the comments below, is there kind of a substance, like, not vinegar or not bleach, but something like that? Of course gasoline, but then he'd have to set it on fire, that would disintegrate plastic, like nail polish remover or something. I don't know. So he disintegrated what he wore over his clothes or burned. And then with the backpack, I would think he washed it and thought it was empty of blood and DNA and dumped that somewhere, like in the woods, or even donated it to Goodwill. But why would you bring just one little backpack to Goodwill? Or put it in the house, like up in an attic with his like grade school artwork or something that the mom had saved, and put it up there, made it look like it was something from a long time ago, or put it in with a bag of purses in the attic, in the basement, wherever the parents keep that kind of stuff. So, okay, so that's what I think what he did with the weapon and the clothes that he wore that night. Okay, so let's get some cards on it. And I have dragon's blood going here, since we're dealing with something very gruesome. Let me put that. Well, this is a new deck, so let's put it there. Okay, so let's see. Are we upside down or are we good side? Hang on, let me see. I do read reversals, but I have to look up what they mean, because I don't memorize them. And usually my Tarot Talks World News videos are more on an intuitive basis. Okay. All right. So, and a lot of people are asking, what's the reason? Okay, the reason I think I said way back when is he liked Maddie. She might have turned him down. They worked at that restaurant, which we think he might have gone to. he might have thought after she turned him down, maybe he asked her to go on a date or something, or flirted or something awkwardly. She said no, and then she went and she was talking to Xana about it. But then they were giggling, and he thought that Xana was giggling. They were making fun of him, which is why he was like, I need to take out Xana also. But I think she saw him coming down the stairs. But anyway, but that's why I think he went there, to do that, to get back at Maddie. But also, I think in his sick, demented mind, he was thinking he wants to be a cop. Okay, he's into criminal justice, and he wants to be the best of the best. He wants to be like Monk. You watch that show? I watched that show, Monk. He wanted to be like, let me tell you what happened. This is what happened. He wanted to be that. I wonder if you watched that show. So, in his mind, what better way to be the best crime fighter, crime solver, than to commit your own crime? To get really in the minds of criminals, because it's in your mind, his mind. So I think he also did it to try to commit the perfect crime. But he had to have a target. So he's unpopular, he's awkward, so he targeted. Now, I don't know if they were the most popular house on campus, because I went to college, and there is a popular, maybe they were a sorority, or there's a popular fraternity, and it's more popular, like, what's it, Chi Kappa was more popular than Omega, sororities, fraternities, whatever they are. So he realized that was the most popular house. So being that he's socially awkward and they're not, he's here socially and they're here socially, he chose that. And then when he figured out that Maddie was part of that popular house, or he found her first and then realized that was the popular house, that's why he targeted them. And to commit the perfect crime, so that he could be the best detective ever, knowing what it's like to be a criminal. So let's ask, okay, why did he, first let's ask, why did he commit this crime? And also, I did videos on Rex, was it Huberman or whatever, the guy with the Long Island serial killer. And in one of my videos, I think my last video for him, I predicted that he would confess. And sometimes this is what happens: you get your crimes crossed as a psychic, and I'm not perfect, and I need to use this muscle better to get even better. But I had a thought of him confessing in court. But it wasn't him. I think it was Bryan. So I was getting my crimes confused. So we have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups. I don't know why I was seeing. Okay, sorry, my camera went off. So we have the Five of Cups. 3, 4, 5. Regret. And he's got 4 wounds on the top of his head. So it's really in his mind about this. Now, and of course this is not Rider-Waite tarot deck. So, and he's cleaning. Remember I said he was cleaning in water. He's cleaning the evidence. I do feel, they don't think he has any empathy. But I feel that out of the 4, wait, no, 1, 2, yeah, out of the 4, he regrets killing one of them. or he regrets that Xana even got involved. You know, maybe not so much of the empathy, but damn, that's what made me mess up, because I heard her coming up the steps, and that's why he probably left the knife sheath, that thing you put the knife in. Is that what it's called? Okay, and then we have the 9 of Cups. Okay, and this guy does have a knife. And he's drinking. He's holding his shield. He's drinking. This whole thing made him very thirsty. Very thirsty. And if that photo, the selfie that was taken, they think after the crime, he did look very dehydrated and his face was so white. But this is a wish fulfillment card. At that point, when he took that selfie and he had that pride look on his face, he felt that he accomplished it. We have the 9 of Swords. And this is usually about laying in bed, feeling the weight of everything on you and having anxiety. But for him, it was the power. He liked the power of feeling so big and making all these women, except for Ethan, feel so small, and he had the power of their life in his hands. So, and that's what he sought, and that's what he wanted. 10, 14. 14. Oh, what is 14 again? Yeah, Temperance. Temperance. Is about a wish and a hope. Temperance. Yeah, it's about balancing out and all that kind of stuff, and manifesting. So maybe he had a crush on Maddie from the restaurant, and he tried to manifest her, say with the roses, love me not, loves me not. And when he finally built up the courage to ask her out, she said no. So it was about power. It was about feeling power over females that he could never attain. He wished that she would have wanted to be with him, but no go. And he was definitely in his feels, even though he has narcissistic, psychopathic lack of empathy, but in his delusional mind feels that she should have been with him. It wasn't a wish fulfillment, so he had to end that. Like as we saw in the World card, he had to end it. And he did get wounded. You know, maybe I'm hearing now, maybe he was sad that he had to, somewhat sad, that he had to kill Maddie because she rejected him. Let me see here, I want to see. Okay, we have 2 9s here. 9s are about change. Let's see. Okay, and the 9th house is about beliefs, isolation, depression, fatigue. So we have 2 9s. And a 5. 5 is about change. 9 are about change. So he was so depressed. This was like the last straw for him. And he used this last straw of depression, of isolation, of not getting a girl, to then switch it over to, I want to be the best detective, best monk ever. And oh my God, my battery is going down already. And solve and fix this. Let's just clarify. See if I'm on the right track. Hopefully my battery won't die before. Okay, what is this temperance about? What is temperance about? Thank you. Yeah, Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands. Wanting the passion, wanting to have a love. Ace of Wands is the phallic, you know, being raised, wanting, which is surprising that there was no sexual, you know what's, crime. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, so that's why he was there. Take out the popular kids. I was rejected. She's part of the popular kids. Let me go do that. Okay, so let's see where did he put the weapon? Okay. These are both upside down. Oh God, I gotta look at my reversals. Judgment and the wheel. Okay, so he was turning the judgment on them. They had judged him. Where's my reversals? Let me see. Okay, this is reversal sheet. So it was yeah, 20 judgment. He wanted family, children. I was gonna say the whistle blew. Usually it's a horn, but I guess this is a flute in this one. The whistle blew. He was gonna make judgment on them. Okay, and then this guy's wearing a hood. And like the skirt, like I was saying, on the bottom, you know, maybe he did have no shirt on, because he could just wipe off the blood off of him and put the wipies into a bag. He had to come really prepared. Wipes, gloves, shoe boots. Here, see, he has something on his head to keep his hair not from getting blood on it, because he don't have a shower to wash his hair. That would, then he'd smear the blood all over if he used a rag. Yeah, well, and I think, yeah, she said he had a mask on, and he has a mask on. But maybe it was more than a mask. Maybe it was a scarf. Although the blood would get on the scarf and seep through, so I don't know if he'd be that stupid. But yeah, he did this. Wait, what was my question? I don't remember. Oh, where did he hide the weapon? Okay, so this is all about this. Where did he hide the weapon? And then see him, all that water going around. I'm saying washing. He washed it. And remember with this, he got wounded, but he washed. In the wash. Oh yeah, and these were reversed. No, I don't have my reversals for that. What are the reversals? Let me see. Hang on a minute. Because this could be important. No. Trying to. Alright, let me see if I have it in this book. No, I usually don't. Alright. I'll have to look that up in a minute. Will remind me. I'll go get the book and figure out. Is it in? No, I didn't have a book. Okay, we'll figure out what the reversals mean if that gives us any more clues. Okay, so what did he do with the weapon? The Hermit. Yeah, and he was delusional in the head. Okay, see the demons behind him? But again, he thought he's the master. See how he's in that red robe? He thought he had power. He's the master. And I want to say something about in the kitchen. I don't know why, because there's jars and there's a table. I think he might have hidden the knife in the house because he couldn't bury deep enough. So, and he's pointing, it's between something. And then there's a stick, this tree. I was also thinking trees on the property. I wonder if they have a fireplace and you put it in the log of the fireplace. And we got another 5 here. Another 5. Let's see. Two 5s is mental and physical. Mental and physical fatigue. So we have 2 5s. And it's also disruptions, magic. So he may have done some kind of, in his mind, magic. Oh, okay. 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands is about taking lessons that you've learned and moving forward. So he used whatever was in a lesson plan about where criminals hide weapons. He used what he learned from that. 7 of Pentacles. Yeah. Okay. This is not what this means. It means, and right away, you know, looking at the Pentacles, seeing how far you've come. He did plan. You know, this did take a bit. But the people behind I'm seeing are parents, because this woman is pregnant. So that's his mother in the background. And this is at night. And he contemplated this whole thing at night. Planned it. And he's dropping something in this hole of dirt. Oh. He's dropping a seed in this ground. If you can see, he's dropping it out of his hand. I've never noticed it before. A seed going into a ground. He is a seed in his mother's belly. He's burying the fact that he's never going to have a family, a love, a partner, romantically, which that's why it led him to do all this. And he does have two personalities, I believe. Let me just make sure. Okay, yeah. He is the devil on one hand, and this just showed to me. He is also, let's see, what does this? And this is it's not the phoenix. It's the unicorn. Yeah. On one hand, he's the devil. On the other hand, he's the Page of Cups, innocent. Never had an romantic encounter, if you know what I mean, with anyone. And as you saw in court, you know he's still stone cold and like a psychopath and no empathy, but yet he would listen to the judge. So he wanted to be or present, because that's what narcissists do. They're shapeshifters. They present as someone nice, and that's what he wanted to be. But deep down, he's really the devil. Then we have strength. And the hermit. Now, I thought this was the hermit. So that's what happens when you... 5. Oh, yeah, okay. 8 and 9, 5. Oh, 5 was the Hierophant. I wonder if he was religious. But still, I saw this as a hermit, so that's what I'm going with. But here we have the hermit, and we have strength. So he wanted to put on a mask with the strength card, but as you could see in the mirror, he knows he's really the devil. He wanted to be a Page of Cups. But, so he put the mask on for that, but really deep down he is the devil, which is in here. Yeah, okay. So I'm not getting where he put the weapon. Okay, so but that tells us kind of like why he did it. Okay, but where did he put the weapon? And it's funny that I'm using the Lost Forest. And I kept thinking trees. Oh God, now I don't know what. There's another difficult deck. The Wheel of Fortune, we saw that twice. So we have 2 wheels. Where's the wheel? Right here. No, that's Temperance. 9. No. Oh yeah, here. 10, the wheel. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, and on this card, there's 2 sides, because the wheels goes up and down. That's our good, our bad luck. So we have the sun and we have the moon. He is about duality. But still not telling us where he hid the weapon. 6 of Cups. Three, 4, 5, 6.
You've got mail.
Okay, well, maybe he did hide it in water. That's what the cards are saying. By a tree in water. And then we have 9 of Skies. 9 of Wands. Nine of Skies. So he brung down his terror on this group. And it was at night. It was at night. So maybe near woods, at night. At night, there's trees in the water. Maybe he hit it in a tree in the water. I don't feel it was that far from home. Let's see if this vice versa deck could tell us. So this is the vice versa deck. Let's try this. I do think maybe eventually a book will come out, and I think eventually he might say what the reason was. However, I think that's not going to be for a long time. I think he's going to like, if someone does study him, he's going to like that attention, and he's going to really get involved in that and feel like a co-author. And by the time the book is done and all the interviewing is done for the book, and the people psychoanalyze him, and the psychologists, evaluate him, after all that he says throughout all that, I think he's going to be at that point so confused, so lost of what his initial reason was, that whatever he does come out and say, okay, A, B, C, and D is the reason, it might not be accurate at that point. Okay, please tell us, where did he hide the knife? Where did he hide the knife? We'll try this one last card, and then that will be it. Where did he hide the knife? I will go look at the reversal for this Wheel and Judgment. Okay, where did he hide the knife? Four of Pentacles. Remember I said he thought he was magic and used magic? In the upright, you can see the fire. This is the guy that holds on to money. In reverse, 1, 2, 3, 4. He may just never tell us where the weapon is, because that's the only thing that he feels he can hold on to, is the secret. Where did he hide the weapon? 3 of Wands. Didn't we have the 3 of Wands somewhere else? 5, 9, 3 of Wands. Here it is. 3 of Wands. Three of Wands. And the yin and yang symbol. He was trying to hold on to that. The masculine and feminine. Okay. Notice there's trees behind him in this one. And that's the upright, not reversal. And I think, well, he may tell someone. See, there's a book. And he may feel close to whoever is going to interview him for this book about his crime, that maybe someday he might tell the person. But I think it's in a tree. And this was all about your evil and your good side coming. It was one. There may have been some kind of religious thing involved in his mind. He wanted fruit to grow with a female, but when he felt that would never happen, he burned this whole shit down. And here's the 5 of Cups again. It's an ending. He accepted the ending. He pled guilty. That's it. Yeah. This is the Ace of Pentacles, which is an opportunity, a new beginning. Rabbit is about breeding. Birds are about messages. Nothing is going to happen. He turned his back on all that. On the Ace of Pentacles, on the opportunity. He knows he threw it all away. So that's what I have. Let me go and see what these reversals are, if they give us any more clues. My battery's dying, and but I will be right back. Okay, I could hardly find my books, but oh, hang on. But what I did find was, I did find a book, and it's just confirming everything that we said for the reason. We got the wheel, and the wheel in reverse, which was this one, in reverse, didn't give us a clue to where he put the weapon. And maybe we're not to know at this point. It says reverse. Assuming you have control in the uncontrollable world, feeling as if life is falling apart around you, and inability to manage your schedule. Okay, so yeah, he was depressed in chaos. And then Judgment in reverse. Is ignoring the signs, resisting your path, putting on emotional blinders to what is happening around you. You need to stop fighting. Yeah, and we saw so this is Judgment reverse. So we saw that he had blinders on. The mask, but so sorry we didn't come up with where he put the weapon. Let's use this one more time before my battery runs out. Please tell us, where is the weapon? Where is the weapon? 10 of Hearts, yeah, we know he wanted a family. Eight of Clubs, 8 of Wands, a message. 5 of Wands again. 5, we know we got 5 again. It's about change. Change. 4 of Pentacles, we had that. He's greedy. He's hanging on to this 2 of Wands. Eventually he'll be at a crossroads where, again, he may tell someone that is writing the book about him, but at the very end. And the 6 of Wands is 6 of Swords is in reverse. 6 of Swords. Okay, in the upright it's moving away to calmer waters. It's in reverse. He just planted himself in really rough waters. So maybe is in a tree, in water. He did it at night. Yeah. Look in the area about of water to see if you could see his car near that water at night. Then that's where the knife might be. Take care. Good luck. God bless. See you later. Bye-bye.